Hi, guys. Welcome to A Little Bit of Woo. I'm your host, Jill Thomas. This is being recorded on 12/5 at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You're probably going to see it on Saturday. I'm so happy to see you guys. I've got you guys asked for questions, and you guys really hooked me up. There's a lot of really good questions in the comments. So today I'm going to answer a lot of those questions. If I didn't get to yours, sometimes there's a reason, like I can't say it on YouTube. And other times, a couple of questions I just didn't understand. So, forgive me for that. Anyway, this is being delivered for entertainment purposes only. I am not a stock portfolio manager, a doctor, a lawyer, not a lawyer. And I'm right a lot. Sometimes I'm just plain wrong. Sometimes just plain wrong. Timing is tough. I'm going to do my best I can. I looked at these questions, but I didn't like zero in on them. So I'm going to answer them a little bit on the fly. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for hooking me up with some good questions. I'm always interested in the comments. I'm always surprised at how wise and sensible you guys are. I know you're all really intuitive, or this channel wouldn't be interesting to you. So thank you for that. I really appreciate sometimes when you guys correct me. I appreciate that too, you guys. I do. I really do. Okay. Anyway, first question. Do you see if the Tennessee elections were tampered with? I tuned into this one. I will tell you, I have tuned into elections before and thought, oh yeah, somebody's been messing with this one. I didn't in this case. I didn't feel that it was tampered with. I do feel like the results were what they were. If you're concerned that this means that the Democrats aren't going to win anything else, that's not what I was getting. I was getting it. It's a one-off. Um, the results were largely in favor of the Democrats, and it does indicate that people are leaning more that direction. But as far as the election being interfered with, I'm not feeling that. Now, having said that, I have tuned into elections and felt like abso-freaking-lutely something was messed with, and absolutely it was wrong, and there was interference and all of that. I have felt that way, but not in this particular case. So if that happened, I didn't see it. Okay. Do you see the AI trade blowing up because the US can't get rare earth minerals needed to make semiconductors? So, two parts to this question. Yes, I do see the AI trade blowing up, but not for that reason. Now, having said that, this is for entertainment purposes only. You shouldn't, make a stock portfolio change based on anything that I've said. But do I think that that particular segment of the stock market is overbought? Oh yeah. Just check out the PE ratios, you guys. It's just pretty insane. I'm just saying. And you will end up getting a little bit of my opinion. Actually, sometimes a lot of my opinion on some of these issues too. My opinion on that one is personally, I don't have. I've cut back our position on that a lot, but that's just my way of looking at it. And you guys may look at it differently, but I don't see it blowing up because of rare earth minerals. I do feel like we are coming across, or we are getting a source of these. I think we may still just be getting them from China, but I don't feel like that is gonna. Those two issues, I feel like they're separate. I hope that's the question you were asking. Um, yeah, I love this. I love that the person pointed out correctly. It's been profitable, but you never want to be the last person at the party. That's a very wise and sensible statement. I personally, right now, especially the month of December and the month of January and February, I would absolutely be watching and babysitting my positions. If those of you that are in the stock market, because I do feel a lot of volatility, particularly in December. There's often a Santa Claus rally. I think there will be a little bit up and down. I'd just be sitting on those suckers. I'd have it on your phone. I'd be watching and deciding what your exit is and what your entry point is, because there may be some opportunities to buy in. But again, use your own wisdom and talk to somebody who knows this stuff better than I do. Appreciate that. Next question. Do you see, I think this might actually be from the same person. So good question. So I thought I'd answer them. Do you see taxes higher over 10-year horizon about the same? Oh, do I see them higher or about the same? I actually do 100% see them going up. And you guys, what I do see happening is that all of you in your little communities are going to need to watch your municipalities, because a lot of municipalities are not getting the money they were getting from commercial real estate, and they're going to start doing little things here and there to raise your taxes. It's going to be an extra gas tax. It's going to be an extra tax for people who have hybrid cars or electric cars. It's going to be like here and there. And if you're not watching, and putting up a fuss every time they try to add a little tax, or just jack your property taxes up just a little bit, nobody will notice, or add a tax only for people in a certain tax bracket, putting it on the ballot, and most people aren't in that tax bracket, so they vote for it. you're going to have to pay attention, is what I'm saying. And yes, I do see taxes going up higher. Um, I don't see the IRS being abolished anytime soon. I do eventually see it going away and being replaced more on the state level, but that's quite a ways off, you guys. Uh, it is absolutely not going to get saved by tariff money. You are still going to have to pay your taxes. It's not going to get saved by tariff money. In terms of the tariffs, I talked about this last time, but I do see the Supreme Court coming back and saying that he can't do tariffs. He doesn't have the power to do that. That has to be done in a different way. I don't see that tariff money coming back to us. If there's going to be any stimmy money, it's going to be small amounts, and it's not going to be everybody that gets it. I'm sorry, guys. If you're holding out for that $2,000 check, I don't see it happening in the way that he's describing. Now, there may be a something in terms of, they're going to call it a stimmy, but I don't see anybody getting those big $2,000 checks. Sorry about that. Okay. Will there be anything done about the ACA before January 1st, 2026 American Healthcare thing? I can't remember exactly what that stands for, but anyway, no. Affordable Care Act. Sorry. Affordable Care Act. I'm sorry. I don't see that getting resolved before the first of the year. In fact, I'm not really sure that it isn't going to get resolved until much, much later. I know the Democrats have kind of made this the hill that they want to die on, but I just don't see it getting fixed. I think not anytime soon. If it gets fixed, it's going to be later on. But I do see a lot of people having to cancel their health insurance. I do see there being an impact on the U.S. economy, but it may get rolled into kind of what I've been talking about already, which is that I do feel that the economy is going to be going through a slowdown. And when you add, that factor, and then the price of food going up, and then gas taxes being added in, all over the place. Yeah, things are going to get more expensive, and I do see a lot. We are going to heading into an economic slowdown in 2026. Absolutely, I am seeing that. I don't necessarily think the Affordable Care Act is going to be the nail or that really does this in. I think it's just going to be one of many factors. One thing I do see it happening, I think this is already happening. Some hospitals are going to have to close because, just because somebody doesn't have health insurance doesn't mean they're not going to show up in the emergency room with an injury, major injury, and the emergency room is going to fix them up at great expense and not be able to collect on any kind of bill because there's no health insurance. And that will be an expense that some hospitals absolutely can't handle, especially in rural areas. I do see, and we've already seen this, rural areas losing their maternity wards. We're going to be seeing more stories about babies being born on the side of the road in rural or parts of the U.S. because of this happening. It's a sad, sad situation, but I do see that happening, you guys. I do see an economic downturn next year. Having said that, should you be worried? I think the ones who are worried about being laid off already know there may be some concerns or issues there. I would say start doing what you need to do now to protect your household's finances. Maybe right sizing your household finances. Maybe not buying a new car. Maybe getting the bushings on the Mazda fixed. Whatever you have to do, okay? But I do see people needing to make changes and just being proactive about it. If you're in a good position now, make sure that there's no leaks in your budget. I don't know. I mean, I know that's making something that's really hard sound really easy, but for some of you, that's all you'll need to do. For others of you, you'll have to take more dramatic steps. I would say either way, just be mindful that this is going to be part of what's happening in 2026. It's not forever, but what can you do now? Like if you knew it was coming, what can you do now? Okay. Will Trump be around long enough to choose a new Fed chair, and what impact will it have on the economy? I talked about this last time because I think it was talking about it being possibly Hegseth. I don't see it being Hegseth. Choosing it, yes, he's going to nominate something, but I do see something happening where it's not the person he nominates. So if the question is he going to be their president when the new chair takes over, I think in May or June, I think it might be May actually. No, I don't see him still being president at that point. Now, I know the greater concern a lot of people have, and the news media has really pumped this up, is to make it sound like the Fed chair chooses whether you're going to have food on the table or not. They don't choose as much as we've been led to believe. And also, like I've said in the past, the Fed does not work for us. They work for the banks. They work for Jamie Dimon. They work for Chase Bank. They work for all the banks. So the concern is that the 47 administration is going to put in somebody they want. They're going to do what make the Fed do what they want. That's really not the case. Uh, that's a bit of my opinion and also quite a bit of intuition on this one. It is not the case. The Fed doesn't really work for the president. The president might pick him, but the Fed doesn't really work in. And the answer to the question, is he still going to be president in May? I don't see him still being president. I do think it'll be Vance by then. Okay. What effect will it have on the economy? I think the economy is already going to be in deep yogurt at that point. So the economy, the Fed chair, I think will look at this and they'll say, "Well, Powell did all the wrong things. This is all his fault." Blah blah blah, and blame, blame, blame. This playbook. Doesn't matter who's president. Every president would do that. Is it their fault? Is the blame earned? I don't know. I wouldn't say that. But what I'm just going to say is that's what's going to happen. I do see that the economy is going to be in some problems, and it will have an impact on the economy. It will have an impact on the stock market if they don't like the person that is put in power. I'm not sure. Not sure on that one. Okay, so New York Starbucks is on strike. Do you think the workers will multiply? Companies will go on strike? Okay, so let's talk about this one because I tuned into this. Will the New York Starbucks become unionized, or will that take off? I think when I tuned into this one, I was actually feeling like Starbucks was way worse off financially than they're let it be known. I almost feel like they might even be for sale, like quiet, like on the deal. They might even be for sale, and I feel like it might be a foreign company that's looking at, or they may even be in talks with it right now, and that might be private. But do I see it being a widespread thing? I feel like it will be attempted, but I think it'll kind of be shut down. They are going to be closing stores. That's what I'm saying. We know from the news that they're closing quite a few stores, but I feel like it will be even more than we think. And there's more challenges there. I think the bigger question on this one is, are we going to be seeing companies like Amazon workers going on strike? I don't see that being a widespread thing. I do see a lot of people trying it. Let's put it this way. I'm just going to say 2026, I don't feel like it's going to be a great year for unions. I do feel like the unions are going to try to do a lot of stuff and get a lot of traction, but I don't feel like they're going to have as much success as we would expect them to, or as they might have had a few years ago. I'm sorry. My father was in the union, so I'm a child of somebody of the union, so I know how important that is, and in that solidarity, but I just don't see it being massively successful, as much as we would like it to be. But will the New York strike in Starbucks be successful? I actually feel like they may just decide to close a bunch of those stores rather than let them have the win. I'm sorry. Yeah, there will be a lot of pissed off workers picketing. Absolutely. A lot of pissed off customers too, though. Starbucks has had a lot of challenges. And I don't know. I think Starbucks is losing a lot of market share. People will be going to the smaller places, or just buying, I don't know, a cappuccino machine at home. They're not that expensive. Okay. Dual citizenship. Somebody had asked about the I sort of casually mentioned it last time. And one of you guys pointed out in the comments that you used to not be able to have it. Now you can. And then there's another, I think it's a senator or congressman, is introducing legislation to make it so you had to relinquish your second citizenship. I don't think this is going to work. And there's for one really important reason. Melania Trump has dual citizenship, you guys, and so does Barron. So I don't think that's going to go away. I really don't. I think they're going to be allowed to keep that for quite some time. In fact, I'm almost feeling like that may not change at all, at least in the near 20-year future. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the bigger question is in the dual citizenship. Are people going to be required to give it up? I don't think so. I don't feel like that change is gonna take. There will be a lot of talking about it, but I don't think that change is gonna take. Another thing you guys didn't ask about, but I'll just go ahead and talk about it, is I still feel like Hegseth is gonna survive this. I feel like they're gonna successfully shift the narrative a little bit to, hey, it's not what you saw, or he didn't really say that, or I think it will be believable enough that he will survive the month of December. Okay. I do feel like he will be gone January, February-ish, which is just a few weeks away, you guys. But I do feel like he's going to survive this little bit of a something. Um, I also feel like the Epstein files, we're gonna get at something by the end of the month. I don't feel like we're gonna get everything. I think there's gonna be excuse, server's down, I can't find my files, blah, blah, blah. It's me excuses, and there's consequences written into that legislation about releasing the Epstein files. Um, I still don't feel like they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna do some delay tactics. And it might even be what Pam Bonding is doing right now because we haven't seen her in a while, have we? She's been sort of out of the news. Pam Bondi is interesting because I feel like she's gonna leave too, but I think she may stick around a little bit longer than Hegseth, and I do see Patel and Hegseth leaving, and possibly even Bangioni. I'm probably saying that wrong. Forgive me. Leaving around the same time, but I do see that kind of happening. I don't know if I answered this question or not. I hope I did. Somebody asked about Honduras and if the moderate candidate Nasrallah was going to win or if it was going to be the other one. I'm sorry. When I tune into Nasrallah, I do love the energy so much better than the other person, but I don't think they're going to win. And I'm not sure that it's being interfered with as much as it could be, but I just yeah, I don't think I feel like Honduras is still going to be under a cloud of troubling times for a while. I'm sorry, you guys. I really do feel like that. It's going to be for the next 10, 15 years. And then something is going to shift and change and it will turn around. But you know what? It might be sooner than that. I feel like it might be sooner, but I might be wrong about that one. For the next bit, though, I would say that it is still going to be having challenges, and the people of Honduras are really going to be upset about what's going on and feeling oppressed and disillusioned. And I wish there was relief right away for that, but that's just not what I'm seeing. Okay, you guys. So let's pull some cards for this week. I haven't done it yet, so you get to see me doing it right now. Hopefully, I know what all of them are. Oops, here we go. I'm trying to think. I don't know who this is, but somebody in the comments, somebody is like worried about are they going to get pregnant? Put in comments if that you, but yeah, but you're gonna be pregnant by the end of the month. I know I'm like talking about maybe only one person here, but one of you guys is really worried. You're lamenting it. Am I ever going to get somebody in their 30s? And for some reason, I'm just seeing it and I'm being told to tell you it's going to be okay. You're absolutely going to get pregnant by the end of the month. Just keep on trying. Okay. There you go. Knight of Swords. Okay. This is something quick happening. I'm not sure what this is related to, but something quick happening, quick disclosure, quick information, circles of support. Celebration. We're going to get something quick happening. Then there's going to be some support, banding together, whatever that is, whoever this applies to. This is what I'm going to be talking about for next week. Emotions. This is a healer. This is a card of the healer. It's kind of the emotional person in touch with their emotions. I would say for all of you guys watching this is just kind of a call to tap into your own emotions and just feel what you're feeling and allow it to be true. Oh, interesting. Taking a rest between difficult times, taking a pause, taking a nap, maybe watching the K-pop stars, K-pop Demon Hunters movie, and then Mad Men has been re-released on HBO. You should check that out. Okay, kind of sitting between two decisions. What do I do? Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I stay put? Maybe taking a pause. Whenever I see this card, for me personally, it always means take a pause and just let the right answer sort of come to you more clearly. Because sometimes if it's not real obvious, you just need to take a second to say, well, maybe it isn't one of the two I thought it was. Maybe it isn't left or right. Maybe it's center. I don't know. Take a pause, whatever it is. And I feel like this card, interestingly, these two cards kind of go together. These are both about taking a pause, taking a rest. I'm going to say that this week probably is about taking a rest. This is an interesting, I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards, actually. Two of Cups. It's like the Lover's card, but it's more like the card of a best friend. It is not necessarily romantic. It's people working together. And interestingly enough, the earlier card, I think, went with this. Circles of support. So working together, cooperation. Whatever's going on in your life, look for areas or places where you can have cooperation because I think you are going to find it. Oh, here we go. Oh, new energy coming in. Surprise. I'm kind of surprised it's coming for some of you guys. Some kind of a surprise is coming. Hopefully it's a surprise for all of us. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And the last one I'm going to pull is High Priestess, which is information that you don't see kind of being in the unconscious. It can also have something to do with the quartz as well, but I would say with this one, it's more about tuning in because we did see so many cards about taking a rest, pausing. I would say this is a week to tune in and sort of ask yourself, what is it that I want? What do I need? How can I make this situation better? What can I do to feel more comfortable? And taking some rest this week, taking some self-care time and just knowing that it's going to be okay, you guys. It's easy to get too caught up in the news. Me too. I do the same thing. So much of what we watch in the news isn't even true anyway, or it's misleading at best. Try to take a break from it, watch something stupid. I personally, I love Sister Wives. I love good train wrecks. Find something that makes you happy this week, you guys, and just know that you can take your little victories where you can, and know that you're loved. You're so loved. You're so important, you guys. And I'm excited to see you. Jacqueline's coming back, I think Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and we're going to do kind of the astrology of what's going on right now and let you guys know what you need to know. Okay, if you have any more questions, put them in the comments and I will work on them for next time. Thanks so much, you guys. Love you. I'll see you again soon. Bye.